Did you know there's a shopping mall where the mannequins don't stay where they're placed? Every night the security guards lock up, check every corner, and leave the displays just as they should be. But by morning, the mannequins are different. Some stand in new poses, some face directions they weren't facing before, and some, the guards claim, are found in places they should never have been. This is the story of the Mall of Mannequins. In the late 1980s, a grand shopping mall opened in the Midwest. A massive structure with polished floors, mirrored ceilings, and endless stores. The kind of place families would spend an entire Saturday in. But like most malls of the era, it eventually fell into decline. Shoppers disappeared, stores closed. The only sounds left were the echo of footsteps and the dull hum of fluorescent lights. By the early 2000s, the mall was a shadow of itself. Only a few stores remained open. The rest were locked, boarded, or filled with dust. And yet, the mannequins stayed, dozens of them, lined up in the empty storefronts, draped in clothes from a decade that had long since passed. Plastic smiles, frozen hands, glassy painted eyes, watching. The first strange report came from a janitor named Calvin Ross. One night, while cleaning the second floor, Calvin noticed a group of mannequins inside an abandoned clothing store. They were all facing the glass window, hands pressed against it like prisoners staring out. The next night, when he passed the same store, the mannequins were different. Some had their backs turned, others were arranged in a circle facing inward. Calvin swore no one had entered the locked shop. But when he checked the security footage the next day, the camera showed nothing, just an empty, unmoving store. The mall hired extra guards. That's when the stories grew darker. One guard, Maria Lopez, was making her rounds past midnight when she heard something on the lower floor. A sound like footsteps. When she reached the atrium, she froze. A mannequin was standing in the middle of the walkway, not in a store, not behind glass, just standing there beneath the skylight. It hadn't been there minutes earlier. When she turned on her flashlight, she saw more, lined up along the railing above. Dozens of mannequins all facing her. The next morning, the mannequins were back in their stores. No explanation, no evidence on the cameras. The scariest reports, though, came from the mannequins themselves, because new ones appeared, ones no one remembered buying. One night, a guard swore he saw a child mannequin, small, pale, with hollow painted eyes. It stood near the play area on the third floor, dressed in old-fashioned clothes. The next night, it was gone, but days later, it reappeared. Not in the play area, this time in the food court. Over the years, more guards saw it, always in a different spot, always at night, and always staring. In 2011, a guard named Ethan Hale vanished during his overnight shift. His radio was found near the escalators, still crackling. The last words he transmitted were chilling. "They're moving." When investigators searched the mall, they found nothing. No broken locks, no forced entry. But in one of the empty storefronts, every mannequin was arranged differently. All of them were pointing, fingers outstretched, toward the janitor's closet. Inside, they found Ethan's uniform, folded neatly, but Ethan himself was gone. He was never seen again. Why do the mannequins move? Why does this mall breathe with such dread? Some say it's because the mannequins were built with real human hair and glass eyes, a practice some manufacturers used decades ago, that each one carried something more than just plastic. Others believe the mannequins are vessels, hollow shells, perfect for spirits of the restless dead to inhabit. And then there are whispers that the mall was built on land that was once a factory that burned to the ground in 1923, killing dozens of workers inside. Their bodies were never recovered. And what do mannequins resemble, if not frozen workers trapped forever in their final poses? Today, the mall is abandoned. Its last stores closed in 2019. The parking lots are cracked with weeds. The food court is silent. But explorers who sneak inside report terrifying sights. They say the mannequins still stand there, in stores that have been empty for years, sometimes dressed, sometimes naked, sometimes arranged in patterns that make no sense. Circles, rows, pairs holding hands, and sometimes, when the explorers leave their cameras running, the mannequins are never where they left them. So the question is, what would you do if you were alone in that mall, flashlight in hand, and you turned a corner to see a mannequin waiting for you? Would you walk past it, pretend it wasn't there? Or would you wonder if, when the lights go out again, it will move closer? Because in the Mall of Mannequins, nothing stays still forever.